I just returned home from my Alaska trip of a lifetime and I can't wait to tell you about it. I'm going to be sharing with you what I packed, what I actually wore and what I didn't wear, and some recommendations as well as some great details about my Regent 7 Seas Explorer experience. Hello ladies and welcome to my channel. This is Kay at Dress for My Day. You know, normally I show up here every Wednesday sharing style tips and ideas for what to wear so you can get dressed for your day in a way that makes you feel modern and relevant so that you can stay engaged in your world. But today we're going to quickly diverge just a little bit and let me share with you about my vacation. So just get yourself something to drink. I'm not going to take long, but I do want to share with you a little bit the details about what I packed, what I actually wore, what was invaluable to me on my trip, like I used it every single day. A few things that I never used, and I'll tell you about those, and maybe a few things that I wish I had taken that I didn't take. And I also just want to tell you a few details about my Regent experience. It was a great cruise line to go with, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Speaking of my own journey, today's video is actually sponsored by June's Journey. You know, June's Journey is one of my favorite sponsors to work with. I love playing June's Journey. It is a downloadable game that you can play on your tablet or your phone or even your PC with the Facebook app. And in this little game, you're helping June, who I think is kind of a self-appointed sleuth, to solve a crime. And she is hunting throughout things to find out who killed her sister and brother-in-law. And so you're going to help her to find some lost objects in these beautifully crafted scenes and rooms, and you know, just they are gorgeous. It's just so much fun. June's a lot of fun. The storyline is fun, and I really enjoy playing this game. I kind of think of it as a challenge. It's just kind of a way to shift my mind in the afternoons or evenings, but still keep my mind engaged, doing something useful, but also a little frivolous that I don't have to put too much weight on. It's just a great little stress reliever for me, and I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy the colorfulness and the music and everything about June's Journey. I encourage you to download June's Journey for free on your device. You can download it on your iOS or Android device, and like I said, you can also play it on your PC through your Facebook app. You can download it through the link below in the description box and also through this QR code over here. Just hold up your phone with using your camera device over this QR code and you can download it there. It's a lot of fun. It's absolutely free. So thanks so much to June's Journey for sponsoring today's video. And now let me tell you a little bit more about my journey in Alaska. First of all, let me tell you why we went to Alaska. Well, why not? Everybody's telling us how wonderful Alaska is, how it's just the trip of a lifetime, and it did not disappoint. You'll love it if you get to go to Alaska, and I hear so many of my readers and my viewers here telling me that you have trips planned to Alaska, and you're just going to love it. It is a great cruise. We also did a land trip. So we were in Vancouver for 2 days before our cruise left from Vancouver. And after our cruise ended, we got off the boat at Seward, Alaska, and then we toured Alaska by rental car for about 11 days, 10 nights. And we went all over the place. Now, my husband was actually born in Alaska, and he had not been back since he was a baby, so he'd never really, experienced Alaska that he could remember. And so we wanted to go to Fairbanks when we needed to get in a car to go do that. So he planned us out a road trip, and it was so much fun. Actually, I don't know which I enjoyed more, the cruise or the road trip. I think they kind of both serve different purposes, and we loved every minute of every day that we had there, which was about 21 days in all that we were in Alaska and cruising around it. So we did take the Regent 7 Seas Explorer ship for our cruise. It was a 7-night cruise out of Vancouver. It went up to Seward, Alaska, and you actually could take a return trip too. You could do 7 days back to Vancouver, but we opted, like I said, to do a land trip on our own instead. So let me focus now on what I took on my trip that was just so invaluable. Now, for my complete packing list, I've already published that on my blog in 2 different blog posts. And so I've got links below, and I'm showing them here to you, where you can see everything I packed, every little detail I packed. And that's what you want to go to if you really want to know everything I packed. And let me just go ahead and say that I don't think I took anything that I just really regretted. The only thing that I took that I did not wear, did not use, and really kind of regretted taking was a little fine pearl necklace. Because I took this pearl necklace, it got all jumbled up in the little jewelry box. It was a big knot. I asked my husband to unknot it. He decided it was impossible without the right tools, so I never got to wear it. So of course I brought it home, and he has that task still laying ahead of him. He still needs to untangle that necklace, but that was a waste. That was not necessary for me to take that necklace. Instead, let me go ahead and tell you the first thing that I did take that I think was really smart, and that is this set of jewelry. It's not really a set, it's my set, but these are my Lagos pieces. This is a Lagos necklace. I have some Lagos earrings and a little bracelet, and they are silver and gold, and then the little necklace has a little black onyx pendant. And this is the same jewelry that I took with me last year to London for 7 days. And I have to tell you, it's kind of become my travel jewelry. I mean, I wear it other times too, but I love this jewelry because it is elevated, it's really nice and classy looking. It works nicely with my everyday casual pieces as well as my kind of evening wear and things like that. So that's what I took, and then I took that little pearl necklace that was a waste. Instead, you know, I really do suggest having some good hardy pieces that I actually wore these on the plane. I just wore them all the time, and they worked so nicely for me. I never took them off really other than to shower. So I think that was a great choice. Let me move on to the next thing that I took that was absolutely invaluable. Okay, I could not have made it through a day, I don't think, without my backpack. So I loved having a backpack. I had watched several videos like this myself, and so many people said have a backpack because when you get off of the cruise and you go onto the land, then you need a backpack, not a purse, to carry your stuff because you might need to take off a layer and put it in that backpack. So that backpack is one from Athleta, and I can highly recommend it. It's soft. It's not like all bulky and scratchy like a lot of backpacks are. It's not like that industrial kind. It's very soft and it's lightweight, so you could pack everything in your suitcase in it if you wanted to and then put it in your suitcase. But I actually used mine on the plane, going and coming, and I did use it for those excursions. I had it in the back seat of our car when we were on our land trip. I just loved having that backpack. You know, the trick to dressing for an Alaska cruise, especially in the spring, ours was in May, late May, May 15th through the 22nd, I think it was, something like that, when we got off. So that's when we went. So if you're doing like May or maybe September, you definitely are going to want to layer, and lots of lightweight layers, really. I didn't take anything really heavy. I took lots of lightweight layers. And so you've got to be able to shed those layers as you're doing things during the day. So having that backpack was so smart. The other really smart piece, though, that I took was a belt bag. And I do remember one particular video I watched where the people on that video said, hey, take a belt bag because you don't want to carry your backpack around with you on the ship. Now, hello, that's so smart to me. So I carry this little belt bag, also from Athleta, that comes in lots of colors. And I usually just wore it like as a crossbody or maybe just slung over my shoulder. I don't think I ever belted it around my waist, but you certainly could. But I put my pass key in there, my little card that I would use to get into my room, my sunglasses if I needed them, my reading glasses, a pen, lipstick, a comb, lotion, just those little things that I might need. Like for instance, one afternoon I went to tea, high tea. I think 2 afternoons went to high tea. I went to play trivia some. Sometimes I was just going down to the library to get the Mensa quiz or to read a little bit. And so I would take this little belt bag with me. It was just such a smart little bag to carry things, even to breakfast, lunch, everything. So it really did serve me well. Okay, kind of getting back to what I wore, because like I said, everything I wore, everything I packed, I wore for the most part. So in my packing list, you'll find those things, but it's really just layers. But speaking of those layers, the next thing that just was, I used them, I think, every day, and that was this pair of long johns that I actually got on Amazon. And I have to tell you, they were extremely comfortable, just the right weight, felt so soft, fit so well. We had free laundry services on our Regent ship, and we took advantage of that. I think we even had things washed the very first night we were there. And so I had these washed 2 or 3 times, I think, and they came through the laundry just fine. So I know they washed them and dried them in the machines, and they came through just great. Afterwards, I also wore these almost every day on our land trip. So you better believe I'm kind of wishing that I had a second pair of these long johns. So My recommendation to you, if you are going in kind of the cooler months, like maybe April, May, September, I'm not sure they go in April, but May and September, then I would definitely take some long johns, plan to wear them a lot, and so I would take 2 pair. And by the way, links to everything that I'm showing you and talking about are going to be in the description box. I'll definitely link you to those long johns on Amazon because they are really good and they're a great price. They come in lots of colors and lots of sizes. Number 4 that served me really well was just layering tops and tanks and shirts. So for my layers, I took like short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts. I think I took 1 tank top, and then I took button-up shirts. They were all button-up shirts most of them were from LL Bean, and I'll link you to those. I think I had one that was old from Columbia, and maybe one from Athleta. I'm not even really sure I wore that one, to be real honest. But most of my shirts were like plaid, striped, button-up, moisture-wicking hiking shirts. And I loved that because I could leave them unbuttoned and have a pretty, a green or blue t-shirt underneath, and that just looked really pretty for breakfast or lunch and all that sort of stuff. But when it was time to get off the ship and go, I was buttoning up those shirts. I was layered up and putting my coat on over that, and it just worked really, really nicely. I could roll those sleeves up, I could just maneuver everything. So lots of layers definitely is the key. But my suggestion is, yes, good long johns, but then everything else, make them lightweight layers. You can stack them on, but that way if you do have a warm day, and we did have a few really nice warm days, then every time the sun came out, in fact, every time the sun came out, it felt really, really great. And we had a lot of sunshine. And so you want to be able to peel those layers off easily, and you want them to be kind of like multifunctional. Speaking of those layers though, another thing that I wish I did take that I didn't take was I think I would have liked to have had a couple of lightweight turtlenecks. I saw other women wearing turtlenecks as part of their layers, and they just looked so chic and so warm and so nice and polished that way. The next thing I took that I absolutely loved having was my Athleta Endless Cargo Pants. I love these pants. I'd already had a pair before. I'd had my navy ones for a while, and I have another one, a pair in a different color. But I don't know why I didn't take those, because here's another regret, is that I took 2. I wish I had taken 3. Now my third pair of pants was a pair of hiking pants from LL Bean. I like them, but they just did not feel as good as my Athleta pants. These Athleta pants are pull-on pants with a nice wide elasticized waistband. They have lots of pockets. They're very stretchy. They accommodated my long johns beautifully. I mean, just so nicely. They fit really well. Now, I will say with these Athleta cargo pants, I went with my higher size. So like sometimes I wear a size 8, sometimes I wear a 10. I got a 10 in these. So just if you wear 2 sizes, go with your higher size. But I love these pants. They work just great. I wore them on my trip home, and I wore them almost every day. One of these 2 pairs almost every day of the trip, and they just worked for me beautifully. So my only regret is that I wish I had taken a 3rd pair. I took several pairs of shoes. I wore a pair of Nike sneakers on the plane on the way out there, and I thought that was going to be kind of my 2nd pair of shoes that I'd be wearing a lot. I also actually took my Me and M retro sneakers because I just wanted another pair of sneakers that weren't like running shoes looking to wear with jeans and stuff, and I did end up wearing those actually several times, so I'm kind of glad I took those. But the surprise is that I actually wore my hiking shoes almost every day. Even when I had the option to wear my sneakers instead, I just wore my hiking shoes. These Oboz hiking shoes from LL Bean turned out to be so super comfortable. It was amazing. I really, I've worn them many times before. I've had them for a couple of years, but I've only worn them like for a hike, here or there. And I had no idea that I'd be able to wear them all day, every day, and feel so comfortable in them. So that is how highly I recommend these hiking shoes. They are so good. I'm never going to get any other brand of hiking shoe now that I've tried these, because they just work so beautifully for me. And I know I've had some readers and viewers who have said, hey, I'm going to Alaska, but I'm not doing a lot of hiking. And we did a good bit of hiking, not really strenuous hiking, because for one thing, I was a little sick a little bit of the time once we got off the ship. And as you can tell, I sound a little nasally right now still, but I wasn't able to do just anything really strenuous. We didn't really want to anyhow, but we did do a lot of hiking. But I've had people say, I'm not going to do any hiking, so I don't think I need that. Actually, I just kind of think outdoorsy clothes, hiking shoes, that sort of thing, that's just kind of like, it's just going to serve you well in Alaska, because even if you're not hiking, you're not kayaking, you're not doing any of that kind of stuff, the tours that you're going on, the places that you go, for instance, when we got off the boat in Seward, we went to a wildlife sanctuary where we saw bears and all sorts of, bison, just all sorts of great animals, but even that was just kind of rough. I mean, you're just walking along some rough terrain, kind of. It's not hiking, but I mean, it's not hardly paved. It's just Alaska. So I felt very appropriately dressed in my hiking clothes for that. We got off the highway just to go see a waterfall, and it says this is an easy hike, even for little children. Well, let me tell you, you're hiking. So I just think that you kind of need some hiking shoes. Even if you think that's not going to be the main gist of your trip, you won't be serving yourself wrong by taking a pair of good hiking shoes and just some good outdoor clothes. Let's shift gears a little bit and tell you what I took for my evenings. Now, I'd heard a lot of people have said that on their Alaska cruises, people didn't dress up in the evening. But let me just stop here to say that we went on a Regent 7 Seas Explorer ship. And Regent is kind of known for being a little upscale. It is a little pricier when you're buying your trip, but it's all inclusive. So it includes your excursions, at least the base level excursions, and they're good. There's some really good free excursions. It includes your tips, it includes alcohol, it includes all your restaurants and everything. So it's a great trip, a great ship. And in fact, the service on most Regent ships is 1-to-1. So for every one passenger, there's one person in service. And our ship only had a little over 700 people on it, between 700 and 800 people, and over 500 staff. So it was very accommodating. All of the staterooms are outward facing, and they all have balconies. And they're all beautiful rooms. We had a wonderful bathroom with 2 vanities and a shower and a bathtub and a walk-in closet. It was just an amazing room, and we felt it was just really luxurious and so special. But the whole ship is like that. In fact, this ship has 2,000 pieces of fine art, including a Picasso and a Chagall. I mean, this is a luxurious ship. And so, yes, people actually did dress for dinner. And I had also seen, even on some other videos of Regent, evaluations or whatever, people said people didn't dress much on their Regent ship. But I felt like they did. I felt like everybody dressed up a little bit. In fact, you cannot wear denim anywhere on the ship besides your room after 6 o'clock. So if you're going to dinner at all, if you're not getting room service, which is always free, so maybe you want to do that, then you're going to have to dress up a little bit at least. And we did. My husband wore navy slacks and a dress shirt every night, and I wore some pieces from Eileen Fisher that mixed and matched that I put together, as well as a beautiful dress from Veronica Beard. So one of my next favorite things is my beautiful dress from Veronica Beard. I think they still have it, and this dress has been marked down significantly. It is an investment, but it's a beautiful silk dress, also available in black. And I do think a dress like this is just so special to take on a trip like this so that you can wear it. I fully intended to wear it 2 nights. But the second night I didn't get to wear it, so I was not able to do that. I only got to wear it once. So I told my husband, I said, you're going to have to take me somewhere really nice now to wear it again sometime soon. But I loved having that dress. I felt beautiful in it. It was well worth taking that dress with me and just feeling so special. Like I said, this is for our 60th birthdays, this cruise was. And so it just was a lot of fun to have a pretty dress. Now, the favorite thing I took, though, were these mix and match pieces from Eileen Fisher. So I had decided to go this route because I thought these are pieces that I could buy. I could enjoy wearing them through the summer, but they also were appropriate for this ship around Alaska, right, where it was cool. but it was nice and warm in the ship. It felt, really nice. I did take a black cashmere wrap that I actually bought for this trip because I have lots of cashmere wraps, but not in black, so I bought one. And that is one thing that I think I carried with me to dinner and to the shows, but I never once put it around me because I never got chilled. So I don't know, I think that is a smart thing to take as a nice wrap on a trip like this, but I never actually needed it. Another thing that I do not regret taking that I thought was so smart was cashmere sweaters. I probably wouldn't take cashmere sweaters in the summer necessarily to Alaska, but I don't know, I would take one. My mom had suggested this when she went on her Alaska trip. She said that she wore her one or two, she couldn't remember how many cashmere sweaters she took. She said she wore them just about the whole time. And I ended up doing that a lot too. So I actually took this cashmere sweater, one of those Eileen Fisher pieces, and just an old oatmeal colored one I have from Nordstrom. And I mainly took this one to wear, like I said, for my evening pieces with the black pants and the white pants that I had for evening. And then the other one I took really just to kind of wear like maybe for the daytime even. And I really did enjoy having both of those. When I was, like I said, I was wearing hiking kind of clothes almost all the time. And I knew I would get tired of that. After 20 days of that, I was going to get tired of that, and I did. And so every once in a while, I just wanted to put on some jeans and a sweater, and it just felt really good to do that. And I did end up taking a couple of pairs of jeans. I had not planned on taking any jeans whatsoever, and I think I could have made the trip okay without them, but I was actually very glad to have some jeans for like when we were in Vancouver. And then also, like I said, there were occasions when I just thought, you know what, I just want to wear some jeans today, and I did, and it just felt good. Another piece that I just could not have done it without is my fleece vest. So I had also seen this on some videos recommended was to, take a vest or wear a vest so that you could wear it under your outer coat. And I did that a lot when we would get off and it would be really cold. And when I say cold, I think we were only in the 40s, the 40s and the 50s most all the time. And even the 40s, the days that we were in the high 40s, for instance, if the sun was out, it felt great. It just felt really great. Only when it was raining and, just like no sun did we feel cold, but I didn't feel cold, but I mean, it just kind of felt like it was cold out there. So that vest, though, was really great. I really enjoyed having it, and I had kind of waffled between a fleece vest and just a fleece jacket, and I'm very glad that I chose the vest. I kind of think everything felt better that way. And then my outerwear piece was this waterproof hooded jacket from Athleta, and I know they don't have this color anymore, at least I'm pretty sure they don't, but it does come in black, and they may have another one. It's a great little jacket. I know some people were concerned that it wasn't going to be waterproof enough, but we didn't have a big squall or anything, so we did have rain, and it did really well. I mean, there were times when I had my umbrella, there were times when I did not have an umbrella, I just pulled up my hood, and the jacket did great. So it felt great, it was just the right weight for May with all those other layers under it, and it held up really well to the weather too. So it worked really nicely. I think one of the things I liked about this jacket is that it zipped and snapped and had a hood. So it felt very like it was gonna really keep me nice and warm and dry inside of it. There wasn't gonna be leaking anywhere, and it really served me well. So on an average day, if I were going for an excursion, I was wearing my long johns and then a t-shirt and then a button-up shirt, and then my vest, and my pants, my hiking pants, and then this coat. And of course I was carrying my backpack, and lots of times I had that belt bag in the backpack. So that's kind of how I was dressed, and that served me really well. The next thing I took that served me really well was my Spanx athleisure set, or loungewear set, I guess you'd call them. These Spanx pieces are just so lovely. They're ultra soft. Now the pants are kind of long. They do come in petites and talls, but these are regular and they're kind of long. That's why I had to wear those Nike sneakers so that I have a little bit of height. But I wore those on my travel. I meant to wear them traveling home too, but because we took a red eye after a day of kind of being out and about, I ended up coming home in my hiking clothes. But these were so nice. And we had one day when we were just in the boat. We were at the glaciers that morning, so it was a beautiful day. We could go outside onto our deck to enjoy the glacier, and then we just had the day inside, so it was so nice to be able to wear that lounge wear. So I really suggest whether you're taking a cruise or going on any other trip, don't forget to take some loungewear. I think it's so important on any trip you go on to have something that you can just come back to your room, your stateroom, your suite, wherever you're staying, and just change into this loungewear and be relaxed and comfortable in it. And this served me so well, so I'll definitely check out the links below to it. Another essential that I am so glad we took was our binoculars. James and I both have our own sets of binoculars. We both took them. There was no fighting over binoculars, so we enjoyed having ours. Now, they actually had some in the stateroom there in our Regent cruise, and so that was great, and they were actually the same strength, so that would have been nice too. But I liked having our own because also when we took our land trip, I kept my binoculars in my backpack, is where they always were, and I was able to use them. And oh, we did see some wildlife. We saw some bears and some moose, and we saw sheep and goats and just so many eagles. Oh my goodness, we saw so many eagles. Y'all, we saw about 50 eagles at once. We were supposed to be looking for whales. We did see some whales, but then we saw an eyrie of eagles, 50 eagles in the trees and flying around. It was amazing, and I was so glad to have my binoculars. And then the final two things that I could not have done it without, absolutely could not have done it without, was my beanie, my little hat, and my gloves. You really need some gloves for when you're outside, when you're on your balcony, using those binoculars, taking pictures with your phone or your camera, and definitely needed those gloves, and I definitely needed that beanie. So even if I was using my hood on my jacket, I still had that beanie on. I was always either carrying or wearing that beanie. So you can imagine that's why you need that backpack, because you're going to, at times, take off those gloves, take off that beanie, maybe even take off the vest out from underneath your jacket. And it's just so smart to have that backpack to put all of that in. So those are the things that were essential to me, and we just absolutely loved our Regent cruise. If you're thinking about, you're contemplating a Regent cruise, I highly recommend it. We will definitely do another Regent cruise. At first we're like, oh yeah, let's go to another one next year. But now we probably are thinking, maybe another year or 2 or 3 from now we'll do another one, because there's other things that we want to do, other kinds of travel and trips that we want to take. But we definitely feel like there's another Regent cruise in our future. They cruise all over the world. They shared with us there the different cruises that are coming up, and there are some amazing ones. So I highly recommend Regent. And I'm trying to think, in all honesty, if there's anything that I would say was a negative or something I didn't like, but there just isn't. The service was amazing. The bathrooms, like when you're out in the public, area and you go to a bathroom, near a restaurant or something, they were just like amazing. And the lounges, the music was great, the entertainment was great. Nothing seemed too racy or anything. There was an amazing Whitney Houston show, which was kind of like 3D, and I don't even know what that was, but that was really something else. And the food was to die for. The service was impeccable. It was just a wonderful trip, truly a trip of a lifetime, and we loved everything about it. But if you have any questions about Regent cruising, about Alaska cruising, about Alaska road tripping, please just ask down in the comments below. I would love to try to field your questions. And also, like I said, be sure to check out my blog post for the complete packing list of everything I took. I'll give you all those links down below. Well, thanks so much for letting me go on and on about my trip to Alaska. It was just lovely. I'm glad to be back. I am so rested, so reinvigorated and ready to get back to work. I did get a little sick when I got home, and so that's been a downer, but I'm getting better. I think I'm doing well, and I'm going to get over this, and we're going to be fine. And I've got so much content planned for you in the coming weeks, so I'm very excited about that. Don't forget to go to the link below and download June's Journey. You'll enjoy playing it on your Android or your iOS device or your PC through the Facebook app. And it's all completely free. Thanks so much to them for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for watching. Be sure to give me a thumbs up on your way out if you enjoyed today's video.